There we go.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I am Manahil Morjawali and I am very warm welcome to everyone tuning in today. And I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. Today we have the privilege of hosting our truly multifaceted and inspiring personality, Mr. A.D. Iskar. Mr. A.D.'s journey is nothing short of remarkable, with over 2 decades of experience as a senior consultant for Fortune 500 and global companies. He took a bold leap in 2016 and follow his passion. Today, he stands as a successful filmmaker, podcaster, speaker, and profound lover of kindness. His transition from the corporate world to the realm of creativity and social impact is a story that's both intriguing and inspiring. So, without further ado, let's delve into the life and experiences of Mr. Ediskar, understand his motivation, his challenges, and the remarkable impact he is making in the world of media and beyond. Ed, it is an absolute pleasure to have you with us. So, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the kind words you've just said. Because I love kindness. We all do.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my pleasure. So, sir, before moving on, question, can you please introduce yourself for my viewers?
Sure. So, as you mentioned, my name is Ed Squire, and it's I'm a podcaster, filmmaker. I love to do documentaries, and I love filming. I used to be a high end consultant for Fortune 500 companies, and I lived in the United States, Canada, and Europe for over 44 different companies, 29 different industries, and I would consult and help CEOs and CIOs of these companies. So that was very interesting, and I got out of that and began to pursue a very different career on social media than having a regular consulting job. The money was great, but I prefer to do something I enjoy more than I do making money, which is, I don't know, I think maybe when you get as old as me, you'll think that way.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your introduction. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. What inspired you to switch from being a senior consultant to pursuing a career in videography and podcasting in 2016?
So, what is the question of what you just said? I think I missed what you're asking. I got the background that you mentioned. So, this is nice. You put it up on your screen. What inspired me to switch from being a senior
Yes,
consultant? Oh, well, okay. So there's there's a couple ways I can describe that. A way that I would have described that years ago was I would have told you that I wanted to make a switch in my life and I wanted to enjoy working for people. But the reality is, and I say this because I'm writing a memoir book of my own life, and I'm also doing a documentary of my own life, and I decided to really tell the truth about what has happened in my life and where I'm going. I want to make a difference and I want to impact people. So um, when I was making all this money, very successful consultant, what ended up happening for me was most people think I switched what I wanted to do for a career because that's what I tell people. But the reality is, I had very serious mental health issues, is what ended up happening. So I had a hard time, you know, staying highly focused and working at a high end with big companies. And the reason why I began to have a hard time thinking and having good mental health was because my past, when I grew up, I think like a lot of people, tend to think we're okay and I'm fine. But for me, because I was abused. I don't know if you know my story, but I was abused sexually by three different men from ages 4 until 10 years old. Now I thought I was okay all my life because I've become very successful. I've done a lot of things. I've pursued, my dreams, but I was so surprised that the struggle of continuing to work hard, make money, and be something became very difficult. And so I I took time off because I had a hard time working. And then I ended up not going back again because I wanted to pursue a different path in life to help people rather than me, make a lot of money as a consultant and all that kind of stuff. So that's, very interesting. I'm glad you asked that because I think this is going to be the very first time I've ever answered this question like this. Because I'm taking a very serious shift into my documentary, my memoir. And so my story is going to be very, very interesting. I have put myself out there in such a way that I can, and many people do this, we can look a certain way with what we do, what we've done, our personality. But when we take away all of the things that make us look something because we want to look a certain way and tell the truth about our lives, it can be very, very different. And that's definitely been my story. So yeah, very, very interesting.
All right, sir. That's awesome. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen. How do you integrate your extensive corporate experience with your passion for videography and social media in your current projects?
That's an excellent question. And I'm very grateful that I have the background that I do in business, in consulting, and working with very high-end CEOs and CIOs. So for example, those two type of leaders in a company are the leaders that run that company, right? A chief executive officer and a chief information officer, they are in control of the success of those companies. So for example, Pepsi-Cola Global, they have their companies around the world. And so I was at a stage where I would invite all of their leaders from different parts of the world to come to the United States in this case, or it could have been Boeing Corporation, it could have been a pharmacy, it could have been any of these big companies that I work for. And I had to really help them fix problems and challenges that they had in their business when it came to strategies, their technology, from a business strategic perspective. Okay, big business words here. And so now, because I've done that, and because I have this podcast, because I have worked very hard at becoming a good filmmaker, that I've been very fortunate to have many people connect with me. So I have many people connect with me that are leaders in organizations that help people. Like it could be an organization that helps people with recovering from mental health issues, childhood sexual abuse. It could be physiological, psychological, or it could be people that, how do you grow your business? How do you make your business so big? So I created a course that I sell, and people can buy a course that I created, and it teaches people how to understand business from a strategic level, how to use videos in a way that attracts customers and grows their business. And so I've taken all of my past and put it into what I'm doing now. So when people go to my website, I'm very proud and very happy of what it looks like and how it's attracting people from so many different avenues, right? Different types of businesses. So I know a lot of people that want to do this and they get started. It's hard if you don't have a reputation and if you don't have a background. So I'm grateful that I've had all this stuff, and now I'm using all of that. When you go to my website, it clearly shows who I am, what I'm doing. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
All right, that's really wonderful answer. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So my next question is, in what ways do you believe your work as a filmmaker, podcaster, and speaker is impacting the lives of others?
That's a good question too. I love your question. So when I do filmmaking and podcasting, my goal is not to become successful and famous and well known. Do you know what I mean? Many people want to be well known. They want to grow, and I really don't. I'm not that interested in becoming really, really big, being really, really successful. Although that is happening, right? It's not my goal. It's not what I'm trying to do. What I want to do is make a difference in people's lives and help them. Whether it's help them build a business. I teach people how to do that. But the big thing for me when it comes to podcasting and filmmaking. To give you an example, approximately a year ago, I had a woman from San Diego, California, and I saw her on Facebook. And she is a youth pastor for young people in San Diego, and she has a very serious disease called ALS. And I contacted her and I said, is there any way I can help raise money? Because she needed to raise a lot of money for her, for the ALS issue. But it's like ALS kills you. Right? Is what happens. Very, very few people, if anybody, survives ALS, and so it costs a lot of money just to support yourself. And so what I did was I went to California. She wanted to have a documentary, like a story of her life with what she's doing, so I agreed to do that. And I didn't charge anything to do it. My goal was to help her raise money, and so the film is going to come out, and it is powerful, and it is going to really grab a lot of attention for her. And so that is one of the things I do. But when it comes to podcasting, I love talking about kindness, because the title of the podcast is called Visible Kindness. So I like having people come in from many different topics or what they do, where having kindness and trying to help people is what really drives them. So that's what I do and how I got into all of that, if that makes sense. If you're still there, there you are. Oh, look at you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My
Sure.
next question is on your screen. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during your career transition, and how did you overcome them?
Well, for me, the biggest challenges are, I would like to be able to say, oh, I switched from high-end consulting, making a lot of money and going into social media and the challenges of that. That was not what the challenges were. The challenges for me were to overcome and deal with just the issues that were in my life that brought me from a successful place down to the bottom. Because I ended up suing the Canadian government, the teaching organization in the province that I used to go to. I ended up suing the teacher that was he abused many children when I went to school, in elementary school. So that kind of a shift is difficult and very different. What I really like is not being driven by wanting to be successful now, right? Not wanting to have, because I have lived, like when you read my book when it comes out next year, and when I do my documentary, I have lived a life of tremendous pain from being hurt and being abused. And then I ended up becoming very, very successful in business and making money. And then I ended up losing all of that and going down to the bottom. So I've been at the top and I've been at the bottom. And through all of that, I decide what is it that I want to do that makes a difference in my life. And it is making a difference and helping other people in their lives. That's what drives me. And it just totally drives my life in a very different way. Kindness is a huge thing. I love it. Giving kindness every single day, wherever I go, no matter what it is, even if it's small, even if it doesn't have to be a big deal, but people love to be, just delivered your kindness to them in their lives. And it makes a difference in life. And that's what drives me, if that makes sense.
All right, wonderful answer. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen. From your 25 years of experience in corporate strategy and planning, what key learning have you applied to your current roles as a filmmaker and podcaster?
So I have been extremely grateful for having met and having friends. Some are friends and some are just people that I've met at many different levels in life. some are extremely successful, very wealthy, and but you would never know to meet them, which I really, really like. They uh, have helped me to understand what does it take to really build yourself, really build your business. So I think, can you put the question back up there? I want to make sure I clearly understand. Can you do that? Let me see the question again.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is for you. Uh, 25 from your 25 years of experience in corporate strategy and planning, what key learnings have you applied to your current roles as a
Thank you. Yeah.
filmmaker or podcaster?
So that's interesting. So when I remember, I told you I was a very successful consultant for Fortune 500 companies, and then I lost the job because of mental health issues. So when I took a break, which I thought I was going to go back to consulting and making a lot of money, there was no way I could do it, and I didn't want to do it. And so what I'm really thankful for is that all the work I've done in the past at that level, I'm able to put into what I'm doing now. So when people see what I do, when you see my podcast, you see my films, it all comes from the experiences I've had in the past. And it has taken time. And what I have learned is that no matter what you want to do in promoting yourself, your business, just because you look good, you sound good, it's not necessarily what's going to attract people's attention. You need to be very authentic with yourself. It is very important. But at the same time, I think it's very wise to understand what strategy means. What words are you using? How do you build a strategy? When do you roll that out? What does a funnel work like? Do you know what I mean? Like a sales funnel, a strategy funnel. How does that work? How do you attract the people you're wanting to attract? And for me, it's been a very interesting journey for me, because it's part of it is working with people that are leaders in organizations that help people that have either mental health, they may have physical issues, they may help other people, that may be donating. So that's a total giving and helping part of what I've done. But then I've got all this experience from the past of working with Fortune 500 companies. And so this mixture of all this stuff has brought me to a place where here I am with you, having a wonderful conversation where it brings everything I've done. And when you see what I've done on my website, for example, it's very surprising to see how professional it is, and then you see the reality of my life. It's marketing yourself and knowing how to do that. It's very, very important. Yeah, it's very, very important.
Thank you so much, sir, for your great answer. So now let's move on to the next question. My next question is on your screen. How do you see your career evolving in the next few years, and what impact do you hope to achieve?
Okay, that is I love this question. So, like many people, my life has been very similar. You pursue whatever it is you're pursuing to be successful, and we make adjustments, and we shift, and we find out things that we don't like. We switch, and it takes time. Right? It takes time to really find out what it is you want to be successful at. So for me, what has happened is it was just a little over a year ago when I helped that lady in San Diego who was a youth pastor, and she has a very serious disease. I just decided I want to help people. That's what I want to do. And I'm like, well, how do I make money doing that? Right? But instead of thinking about what do I do to make money, over the last year and a half, I've just focused on what do I want to do? Because whatever you're good at, whatever your heart is at, whatever you're driving towards, the money will show itself up. So most people, and I used to be this way too, is I was focused on money. How do I make money? Yes, we do need to make money. We need to pay our bills. We need food. We need to pay rent. That's fine. I understand. You can do anything to make money to live. But when you think about what you want to do, it's different, right? So now for me to write a memoir about my life, when I thought about that earlier last year, I thought, holy cow, people don't know my story. Not most people, but everyone that knows my story, they know about the success I used to have as being a high-end consultant for Fortune 500 companies. They know that part about me. A lot of other people know about the abuse that I suffered as a child because I have a website about that. I mean, it's a big part of my life. And I have this podcast. That's how people know me. People say I look good. I'm 50, I'm going to be 59 years old in a few months. And I have a lot of energy, and I've just learned to really become who I am. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just want to enjoy every day. So to answer your question more specifically, I thought when I tell my story, a lot of people will be impacted by that. It is far beyond the abuse that I suffered. So yes, I have a life story that's going to surprise people. Let's put it that way. So when that book goes out, and the documentary is going to be later on next year. The book is going to come out first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to travel and speak. And so I've already had people invite me. And I think once my book goes out, I'm also going to go for TED Talk. If you're familiar with TED Talk speaking, I know that I'm going to be able to do that. So I want to speak, and I want to make my income mostly through that. And I want to see that podcast grow. And that's what it boils down to. It's going to be very, very interesting to be known as a very successful speaker. And I'm speaking about my life that people don't know. They think they do, but when they hear my life story, it's a hard one. It's going to surprise people. Have you heard of Matthew Perry? He is an actor that passed away, I think, 3 weeks ago now. And he was on a very popular show in the US called Friends. Very, very successful, very nice guy, very well known. And he's a Canadian. I'm a Canadian, by the way. I live in the US, but I'm a Canadian. And he was an alcoholic, and he was also on drugs a lot. And nobody knew that except for the people he worked with. Well, he decided to write a book about his life. And I didn't read his book until, what I decided to do, this is what life is like. What I decided to do, then other people's books started to come into my life, was I could read how their lives have been, how they wrote about their lives. And his life is a tough one because he was an alcoholic and a drug addict. And what he wants to do with his life, and this is powerful, I want to be like him. He doesn't want to be known as a successful actor. He doesn't want that. He wants to be known as someone who can help other people. So just even one person that's a drug addict or alcoholic, he wants to help that person, and he's helped many, many people over the years. And what's really wild is he said in his book, which he put out about a year ago, when I'm dead, when I pass, I want to be known for this. And then 1 year after he wrote his book, he passed away. Now, I'm so sad that happened. I hope that doesn't happen to me when I do my book. But, it's a powerful thing, his life. So for me, yeah, I look good on my Visible Kindness podcast. Yeah, I look good and all the stuff I've done. But the reality is it's a hard life I've had. And I want to share that. And I want to help and encourage people that don't have to look good, sound good, be good. You just have to be yourself. You just have to be yourself.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful answer. So, as we come to the end at our enlightening conversation, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Ed Square for sharing his incredible journey and insights with us. I'm sorry. So, your story is a testament to the power of patience and the courage to embrace change. It's been truly inspiring to learn about your transformation from a corporate strategist to a creative force in filmmaking, podcasting, and beyond. So, to our audience, thank you for joining us and being part of this engaging dialogue. I hope its experience and wisdom have inspired you as much as they have inspired me. It's a reminder that it's never too late to pursue your dreams and make meaningful impact. So, Mr. Ed, before we part, do you have any final thoughts or messages you would like to leave with our listeners?
I think that's what's really important with how I answer that question now, because very grateful. I've been on many podcasts. I've even been on TV. I've been on radio shows. I've never talked like I do now, because what's important to me is really encouraging people to be themselves, be authentic, and be proud of yourself. Success happens one day at a time. There's no guarantee that you get tomorrow. There just isn't. You only guaranteed one moment at a time in life. So enjoy your life, be happy and peaceful as much as you can, because we have struggles in life for sure. But enjoy the moments that you have, because there's no guarantee that what you're shooting for, what you're driving for, there's no guarantee it's going to happen. So absolutely go for your dreams, but enjoy every moment in the moment as you go.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful message, and thank you once again for your time and insights to everyone who turned in. So, thank you so much, sir. Goodbye. Stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, every journey begins with a single step. So, until next time, thank you so much. Bye, sir. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thanks for having me.